Hi, I'm out here at the Area 51 Disc Golf Course here in South Columbus, Ohio. It's just coming out here because I'm going to try and do a video about courses you should try out that get a bad rap. This is going to be number 1 in the series. Probably going to do a couple more at least. Anyway, right now it looks like they're doing some maintenance out here. Looks like they're maybe doing some drainage. Got some gravel over here. But here's a practice basket and hole number 1 here. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go through the holes here, maybe show what it looks like in some spots. I tell you, one of the main reasons I don't like coming out here is that gravel parking lot. Because every time I come out here, I gotta wash my car. Anyway, well, let's go ahead and get at it and see how it goes. Yeah, something else that I forgot about was first thing I'm gonna do before I go anywhere here is doing a grass check. That's real important, right? Well, according to this right here, we're looking at like it's about 3.5 inches long. That's pretty good. Usually I find that this place is mowed quite immaculately actually, and I don't think I've ever seen the grass much longer than it is right now. I've never had a problem finding a disc in the open fairway ever. I can't say the same for quite a few other courses in the Columbus area. So we'll go ahead and go forward from here. Don't think I'll have trouble with that. So what we're really talking about out here is mostly just the off fairway areas. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around here. And yeah, over here on the sides, yeah, there's definitely a lot of growth over here. There's definitely a lot of growth over here too. But one of the things that you don't think about is, okay, well, let's go over here. I mean, first of all, this is only like 50 feet, well, maybe 100 off the tee pad. Who's gonna ever end up being in here, really? But this stuff, if you look around here, it's not that dense. I mean, yeah, there's stuff over here, but I'm in a spot right here right now where somebody would almost never be. I am considerably off the fairway. I am at least 50 feet off. There's even a path where I'm at here, but as you can see, there's plenty of open space all around me. I mean, unless you're throwing the worst colored plastic ever, you really shouldn't have a whole lot of trouble finding stuff in here. And that can be said for kind of going through the whole area. Again, here's, you know, another little area, big pocket. You know, you got probably a 30-foot circle in there at least that's empty. So an awful lot of this is going to be more of the same. Really, again, it's just kind of showing you what is and what isn't here. Can you lose something out in these areas way off? Yeah, it's possible, but in my opinion, on a lot of these, you really got to shank them really bad and have no control to be having much problem out here. You know, I'm not the highest rated disc golfer ever, but you know, it's one of those things where you don't have to be. Just keep it in the middle and you'll be, you know, no problems. It might also be preferential to come out here on days when it's not windy. There's a little bit of a tailwind here today, but you know, I wouldn't come out here when it's crazy, you know, 20-mile-an-hour winds. But you know, again, that's just because it's harder to control. But anyway, moving on. There we go. This is a path here from 1 to 2. And here we are too. Again, a lot more of the same. You know, you got your stuff over here on the left and the right. It's a very short hole overall. I mean, this hole's only 189 feet. I mean, don't go crazy. Don't throw, you know, your biggest, beefiest driver at this at max power, you know. Just lob it out there, let it drop on the basket. All right, so as we get up here near the basket, you can see that here it is. Over here is the area most people are going to probably land in because they're dropping out early left. And you come over here, take a look. I mean, this is pretty open in here. I mean, it's been walked on plenty. I mean, the camera should be picking up here probably a good 60 feet circle in here that's pretty open, not a whole lot going on. Now you go over here to the opposite side and there's going to be more stuff over here. Because most of the time it's the sidearm shots or the lefty shots that end up over here. Now this side is definitely more dense, but again, there's, you know, rutted paths through a fair amount here. Long of the basket, it's pretty open back here. I mean, you're not going to have much trouble getting to your actual disc back in here. Might not like it because of the position, but you're not going to lose it. So that's what 2 looks like. Just putting. GoPro, stop recording. 3. Kind of a narrow area here, especially since you got this tree off the tee pad. Yeah, I'm sure it's not very good if you kick in off this tree to the left. We'll go ahead and toss it down there and see where we end up. That's going to be a little deep. So we'll get our first expedition here. Okay, coming up on where this went in here, basket's up over here on this left. I pretty much just went straight in, right here on the end. Let's see where it's at. Oh man, I don't know. Might need to get out my machete. I can't see in here. Oh boy. So this one here, it ended up punching in pretty far actually. This is, must have come like right through this area here, kind of went straight on through here. So I mean, I'm back here like 40 feet in the woods or whatever, the honeysuckle here. All but right here from where I'm at. Hey look, there's an opening right here, enough so that I'm gonna even try and do this. Let me mount the camera here real quick. Just gonna try and do this with my buzz. Get in. Oh. So I just poked right through here. And it's just right behind the basket. I mean, again, there's less fortunate spots in there where you could be blocked, but this whole area right here is pretty okay. I mean, it's an area that a lot of people end up in because of the fact that it's straight. Off here to the left, that cabbage right there you wouldn't really want to be in, but you're not usually probably getting there off the drive. It's possible, but you know, up in this canopy would kind of suck. But you know, again, just stay away from the bad areas. This here's number 4. It's a big bomber hole. I mean, it's almost 400 feet, pretty much just going out and around here. You definitely don't want to throw one over in there too deep, but you know, throw the right disc. Okay, so I'm coming up through here where this looked like it punched through at. Just kind of went around the tree behind me here. And looked like it was headed towards this bush over here. Take a look. Somewhere in here. Let's see. Oh, yep, I see it. Right here. And this is, maybe 10 feet off the fairway. I mean, there's definitely cabbage here, but yeah, this wasn't too easy or too hard to find. So here we are back by Four's basket. Again, over here on the left side, where the majority of people are probably going to end up. Yeah, I mean, this grass is pretty tall, but most of it's fallen all over. I mean, you know, it's not too bad. You get further back in there, you know, it's definitely a little more dense, but then it opens up to basically just dirt. There's definitely some earlier areas here that are a little thicker. Probably don't get trampled on quite as much. But again, I mean, it's pretty common for any disc golf course. I mean, the more common landing zones are going to get more wear than the ones that don't. This out here on the far right side, once you get a certain point past this area here and kind of get over into here, yeah, you definitely end up with more of this kind of like, I don't know what you want to call this, grape leaf stuff. I mean, again, there's definitely some unfortunate spots you can land in this stuff, especially if poison ivy is a problem. Again, you know, just play smart and keep it on the correct side. This is only a 225-foot hole, and the fairway on this is massive. I'm not going to say it's as wide as it is long, but it's at least 100+ feet across. Approaching the basket here, and I mean, there's definitely spots that you don't necessarily want to land, but again, back in this here, it's got some trails and stuff. Kind of again, back on this left side, it's a lot more picked out, especially close to the basket since it's a short hole. Again, really just kind of pick your landing zone. It's not that it's not bad out here potentially, it's just that you got to know where to land. So again, is there growth here? Yeah. Is it pretty easy to avoid? Yeah. This here's a little bit longer, just a smidge than the previous hole, but basically the same. It's a lot more narrow. Yep, just aim for that bush and hope it lands. I see a common theme here. Once you get close to the basket, there's definitely rough patches here and there. You just kind of gotta pick and choose where you're at. This one here did land like right on the edge of the bush here, but here it is. And it's parked. Number 7 here. This hole here, I wouldn't be surprised if there's potentially a lot of discs lost out here somewhere, because people are trying to throw it way up this way and try and be a He-Man and get it all the way there. It's only 276, but to get it to the basket, that's pretty far. You just play a shot up the middle, don't worry about it, then you should be okay. On the disc here, I mean, I am not a very good sidearm player. I mean, at a couple 100 feet, I'm decent, but you know, it's a safe shot. You know, you're maybe 200 off the tee. It's right in the middle. I'm looking at the basket. Easy 3. Try and keep it in the middle. Okay, so after you finish this one here, you got a couple different walking options here. You got a little tunnel right here. Maybe a little bit low. You know, if you're 6 foot, you're probably gonna have to duck just a little. But you've also got a path around this other side here. And it's full height. Yeah, there's a couple branches that could use getting knocked down here, hanging out just a little, but other than that, not a big deal. And here we are into the next hole. Once again, perfectly mowed fairway. It's plenty big. This hole is probably about 300 feet, I'm guessing. Just backing up to the hole here. It's 285. Okay, approaching the basket here, and you know, kind of like most of the other holes, you've definitely got some dense spots. And this one more off to the right side because, again, more discs are probably going and traveling to the left, back towards where mine's at. You know, but again, the fairway on this is not a small fairway. For 9, it's 345. Considering it's 345, it's kind of narrow, but again, there's not much to hit, you know, over here and here. You got just a couple trees in the way. The rest is just all high grass. You just throw it down the middle. I mean, I realize not every shot's going to be right down the middle, but just try and control it. Throw the right disc. We're approaching the basket here on 9. Again, it can sound like a broken record, but you know, you've got definitely some of the stuff on around all the sides here. Again, most of it's you can see through it. A good majority of it's like only somewhere between your knee and your waist. It just really depends, you know. I mean, it's more trampled over here for sure. Oh, there's another miss. So here's number 10, 255. Pretty wide fairway, but kind of pick your poison. You can go this way or over the top this way. Or just throw it down the middle. Don't throw it too hard. Coming up on the basket here. Definitely got areas that you may or may not want to be in. Most of it's pretty picked through though, unless you're way early left. Okay, this one here is number 11. This one at 429 is the longest one we've played so far. Again, the fairway on this is pretty huge. Biggest problem here is just dealing with either just going over this bush or just don't turn it over into this stuff. I mean, there's an easy opportunity to throw it straight up the middle right here, about 200 feet, just to get down there, and then throw, you know, 300 or 270 upshot or something. I'm gonna try the high right today just to land it in the middle. And that's probably not the best place to land, but it's not the worst either. Oh, here. Probably right near this bush. Oh, I'm just a little short, it looks like. So actually, I'm just right here. Got it. And again, from here, it's pretty much just a kind of a hyzer on around to the basket just back there. Maybe about 200, if something like that. The area that we're coming up on here near 11's basket, this is one of the places that people probably get annoyed with because sometimes this area here just generally floods out. See right here where there's this patch of tall grass. It can basically flood, I don't know. I don't think it commonly floods more than maybe just 50 feet around the basket, but there's been a few times where there's been a whole bunch of stuff underwater here. I've actually seen 12, which is right here, the whole thing be unplayable. But that path that goes on up around this side takes you all the way around it. So if you get here and it's completely wet, just skip it. So here's number 13, starting back here, going kind of around this corner on up to here where the basket's at. It's probably only like maybe 270. In the basket of 13. I guess if you punch into this bush here, you wouldn't be real happy about it, but most of the time it hits this and just falls straight down just like this. Number 14, again, it's another one that's only about 240, it looks like. Fairway's plenty wide. You got plenty of left room for if your eyes are out. Really the worst spot on this would be over to the right near that giant bush. Get in the basket. Oh. Okay, this here is number 15. Again, it's 237. This one here, this fairway is huge. I mean, it's almost a complete cube here. Just throw it up on either side, just beat that tree. So something I'm noticing here as I'm walking up to this basket is that the grass here could be a little tougher to push a cart through, especially if you're using a four-wheeler like this. Just because you got an extra wheel, it might actually be better to pull it tipped back on the rears. But the thing is, it's because the grass here is in such good condition that it's just so thick. I mean, look at this stuff. I mean, this is actually in better shape than my lawn. And I actually put weed killer down on occasion. I'm pretty sure they probably never do anything to this as far as weed killer. They probably just mow it. But other than that, I mean, this is great grass. All right, well, I didn't bother going through 17 and 18 there just because it's more the same, but essentially 17 and 18, they're a couple of the longer ones with the more skinny corridors in general. This one here is up on a mound, but again, overall the biggest thing I can say is that if you come out here, I mean, yeah, it's probably not the best place for a beginner. I mean, unless you're just real good at throwing them 150 feet straight in front of you, then you'll be fine. But yeah, don't try to big bomb some of these for some of the people that can actually do it. That's where you usually get into the biggest amount of trouble. Other than that, I mean, you know, if you can't get there and it's windy, or if you're gonna have a little inconsistency with throws, the best thing to do is just throw it shorter, just not put yourself in a position to be way off the edge. But most of these, if you're within like 20 feet of the edge, you're in pretty good shape. Yeah, there's definitely some patches that, you know, you don't want to be in, but overall, you know, it's just keep it under control. The other big thing to add would be, if you come out here, try and not do it by yourself. It is a good idea, especially on a couple of the longer ones, to have kind of a second eye on it further up the fairway. Get more of a depth gauge on it, both how far it went and how far in. One of the biggest things that, you know, people struggle with when they lose something is just not knowing how deep it went or how far over. So if you can kind of keep that to a minimum and narrow your search zone down to maybe, say, I don't know, a 50-foot area instead of like 200, then it helps quite a bit. Other than that, that's it. So this is number one of places that get kind of a bad rap that are beautiful courses to check out. And again, this here is Area 51.